So much. Newly uncovered emails by the conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch are raising questions about whether a Clinton Foundation donor was provided with special access within Hillary Clinton's State Department. Now, the Clinton campaign denies anything inappropriate occurred and claims there was no conflict of interest, nor were any favors carried out. But the larger issue raised by the emails was the Clinton family's many competing and overlapping pools of interest. Clinton Foundation, Clinton State Department, Clinton Library, Clinton campaign, and on, which, without clear lines of delineation, create many obvious potential conflicts of interest. Which brings us to this breaking news story about one of Secretary Clinton's top State Department aides who was simultaneously involved with the Clinton Foundation. CNN senior investigative correspondent Drew Griffin has been digging into this story and joins me now here live to break it. Drew, you're looking specifically into the activities of Cheryl Mills. She's worked for the Clintons since the 1990s.
That's right, and the reason that we're raising questions about this is at the time of Hillary Clinton's confirmation as Secretary of State, she sent a letter to ethics officials at the State Department saying she would not participate personally and substantially in any particular matter that has a direct and predictable effect upon this foundation. Well, Hillary Clinton didn't, but one of her closest aides did.
On June 19, 2012, Cheryl Mills, then the Chief of Staff for Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, boarded an Amtrak Acela train in Washington's Union Station, bound for New York. What she did, who she met with, and why has remained a mystery, even to the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee until now. For the last 7 months, Senate investigators have been trying to find out what Mills was up to. And for 7 months, the U.S. Department of State has refused to answer. Now CNN has learned a potential reason why. Cheryl Mills, then a U.S. government employee and Secretary of State Clinton's Chief of Staff, was in New York working on behalf of the Clinton Foundation. A source close to the situation confirms to CNN Mills was interviewing 2 people for the leadership role of the foundation. Interviews took place inside the Park Avenue executive headhunting offices of Russell Reynolds. Mills would interview top-level executives at Walmart and the drug company Pfizer, both companies huge donors to the Clinton Foundation and partners with the Clinton Global Initiative. Was Mills' role in violation of government ethics rules? Did she have permission from the U.S. State Department? Did she even know the trip was taking place? CNN has asked the U.S. State Department all of these questions. This was the response. Federal employees are permitted to engage in outside personal activities within the scope of the federal ethics rules. A state spokesperson tells CNN all federal employees are subject to federal ethics laws and regulations, including rules pertaining to conflicts of interest. That vague response raises more questions that are just not being answered. Not to CNN, but worse, says one watchdog group, not to the Republican-led Senate Judiciary Committee, which has a right to know.
Congress has a rightful right to ask for any information that it wants to from the executive branch of government to keep track of them. And the government should be turning that information over. And when you have a breakdown in that system, we have a breakdown in our democracy.
It's easy to understand why Cheryl Mills was trusted with helping find the next director of the Clinton Foundation. Her relationships with the Clintons goes back decades.
I am honored to be here today on behalf of the President.
As Bill Clinton's deputy White House counsel, she defended the then president during impeachment proceedings. In 2008, when Hillary Clinton was running for president, Mills was her senior legal campaign advisor.
I, Hillary Rodham Clinton.
And when Hillary Clinton became Secretary of State, Mills left the board of the Clinton Foundation and became Hillary Clinton's Chief of Staff. Now Mills is once again on the board of the Clinton Foundation and was backstage with Hillary Clinton at the Democratic National Convention. The secrecy about the New York trip, the dual roles played by trusted assistants, the mixing of business between state, Clinton Foundation, and its donors, all play into a central theme of Donald Trump's campaign, that politicians, like the Clintons, use government to benefit themselves.
These are crooked people. They've been crooked from the beginning. You look at that foundation. It's pure theft and pure crookedness.
Cheryl Mills' attorney says her client was simply doing volunteer work for a charitable foundation. She was not paid. The Clinton Foundation also says Mills was not a paid employee.
Jake, late today, Clinton campaign spokesperson Brian Fallon sent this statement that says Cheryl volunteered her personal time at a charitable organization, as she has to other charities. Cheryl paid for her travel to New York City personally, and it was crystal clear, he says, to all involved, this had nothing to do with her official duties. The idea that this poses a conflict of interest is absurd. Jake?
All right, Drew Griffin, thank you so much for your reporting. CNN